Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transfertradsolutions.com on a Tuesday. This is 17th March, St. Patty's Day. Got markets just meandering, again, awaiting any further developments on the opening of the Strait of Hormuz and so on and so forth. Let's get right into the charts here. S&P, NASDAQ trying to lift today, but really uh, not going anywhere. If you take a look at the S&P futures, we're basically right where we were yesterday's high. Levels to look at are going to be likely looks like 6,900. There's some shorter term. If you look at the contract specific, maybe 6,800, but it's just a mess. I mean, it's just range trading, lots of, you know, uh, just meandering about. Something's going to get this thing moving. Probably any kind of news coming out of the Straits, or uh, if Trump declares victory, obviously the markets are going to rally hard. But more or less, we're kind of in a holding pattern so far. So bottom line is, on the S&P, I'd be looking at a longer term chart. Uh, you're probably looking at, let's see, 6,900 here, which is where we had a bunch of, lots of chop in here, kind of banged up against this level here. And then on the downside, we still have these levels uh, down here at 65.28, which is still obviously could still be in play especially if we get a spike in oil, another spike in oil. Similarly with the NASDAQ, uh, you know, uh, it's actually much cleaner where you could see the 225 200 resistance, and then up above that 25 400 resistance. So these are much cleaner levels you can clearly see on the NASDAQ. Maybe some shorting opportunities up here, and then on the bottom side you got 23 900 912, these lows. From a longer term chart perspective, that seems to be the bottom end of the range, and obviously if we break that, then we're probably headed much lower at 2,300 on that. So we'll see how that goes. Rates also bumping up against the rates bumping up against the uh, 430 level coming off. We got a Fed meeting tomorrow. That's also in turn uh, pushing the dollar lower. It hit 100, which we talked about this. I wrote about this. Um, and we'll see, Ken kind of tracking rates uh, here. So we'll see if that continues, obviously predicated on, I think if we had another spike in oil and oil stays above, let's say 90 for, let's say we're 2 weeks in, I think that probably will continue to pressure rates higher, that type of thing. So we got Bank of Japan also, which is interesting. The levels, very interesting level on the Bank of Japan. If you take a look at that 160 level on the euro, I'm sorry, the dollar yen, that's going to be a very critical long-term level uh, coming up here. Some of the other currencies, obviously the euro bouncing uh, from that demand zone again as the dollar hits 100. So those would be worth looking at. Again, also the gold, if the dollar continues to strengthen, gold should fall back down below 5K. So it's hanging around 5K at a very critical level here. You can see it's kind of just hanging around here. So this is probably ready for a move at some point here, and it's probably going to be predicated on the dollar. Obviously crude oil still driving everything pretty much. 90 through 285 is the near term level, 105 is the resistance. If we break 93, probably headed back down to 90. And overall, you can see this is kind of matching the markets, just very, very quiet. But obviously, anything can happen with this. Also interesting, you've got some movement in soybeans, which basically peaked right at the supply zone at 1249. The next level to look at, and it's almost like tracking oil, because remember, a lot of the fertilizer and all that's agriculture stuff also passes through the straits. If we break 1144, we probably go all the way back down to 11 a bushel. That would be another long entry point with regards to soybeans and wheat also. uh, right around 562 is going to be an interesting level. Trying to hold so far at the 586 and a half level thus far. So, again, in a nutshell, we're kind of waiting for the Fed. We're waiting for further news on the Straits of Hormuz. Anything can happen, but what happens typically is these knee-jerk reactions will take you to a level, and so now you just watch the levels and see if, let's say, a rally takes you up to supply, a drop takes you to demand, and you just mark your levels off and wait for price to come to you. All right. Again, subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have another class coming up pretty soon. Have a great week. Interesting week setting up. I guess the longer this conflict persists, I think the risks are elevating. So be careful there as well. Okay, take care.